Some things are hard to change. The transmission in a car, your cell phone provider, your reputation as a bedwetter in junior high. But changing the key of a song with or without a capo will no longer be a problem for you after watching this video. So we're going to use the awesome Steely Dan song Dirty Work as an example of this and how you can kind of do this. So we're going to learn how to play this song, plus we're going to talk about changing keys, using different chord voicings and stuff too. So it's like a bonus double lesson. Get ready for that. I'm also going to link you to a version of the song that I did with Jaida, and you can kind of see some of the techniques used in it. Okay, so we're also going to talk about why you might want to change the key of a song and kind of the benefits and some of the detractions that maybe you'd have. But let's just run through the chords in open position first. Now, if you're to play the song along with the actual recorded version of it, which you got to listen to because it's amazing, it would actually be capo on the first fret. But I want to use open chords because we're going to talk about getting off capo anyways. So it starts out in the key of C. These are what these chords are going to be, the key of C, all right? And it starts out with the A minor chord. There's two main progressions. The first one is like this. It goes A minor, D minor, G, C, F major, B flat major, C, G. Okay, so that's the verse chord progression. Now, it's really important that you understand the notes in a scale and how those notes become chords. So I'm going to kind of breeze over a lot of this. If it makes no sense to you, I'm also going to link you to a video on how to make chords from the major scale, which I think is the most important thing that you should learn as a guitarist, as any kind of musician in general. Basically, there are 7 notes in the key of C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's all those notes can become chords. The 1, 4, and 5 become major chords. C, D, E, F, G. C, F, and G are major chords. The 1, 4, and 5, 2, 3, and 6 are minor chords. D, E, and A in the key of C. And that's pretty much it. 7 chords diminished. Don't use that a lot, right? So if we were to number the chord progression here, again, we start out with a 6, A minor, to a 2, D minor, to a 5, G major, to 1. Okay, those are just the chords in the key of C major. 6, 2, 5, 1. You're going to have a different perspective of this once we kind of do the bar chord version in a minute too. But anyways, 6 to 2 to 5 to 1 to 4 to flat 7 major. It's like, what? That's the interesting thing about this B flat major chord is it's actually not in the key of C. We're going outside of the key to add this chord. So I would call that a flat 7 major chord. Sounds kind of confusing if you've never heard stuff like that before. All that means is that the note of B flat in relation to C is a flat 7. If we counted from C to 7 through the major scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The 7th note is B. So B flat would be a flat 7, C to B flat. That interval is a flat 7. So if we say flat 7 major, what that means is you're taking the 7th note, the flat 7th note in that key, making it a major chord, adding it to the progression, and then we're going back through the chord progression. So we've got 6, A minor, 2, D minor, 5, G, 1, C, 4, F, B flat, that weird one, back to 1, 5. All right, so kind of an interesting chord progression. Changes quickly. Might be a challenge for you if you're just kind of getting used to open chords, but a really good one to kind of maybe, try your hand at. Now, so that's the verse progression. The next part, it goes into the chorus progression, which is a little bit easier. Starts off on the 1, to the 4, to the 6, to that flat 7. And then we're going to walk our way back to the 1, okay? So a C chord to an F chord. You can play the bar chord version or just this one where you just play the middle 4 strings. C to F. A minor to B flat. Okay, and then we're rooted on the 1st fret of the A string. We're going to get back to C. And the cool thing about this song, it has that kind of signature. We're going to walk it chromatically. 1, 1, 1, 2, 3. Back to the chord progression. F, A. Okay, so that's the chord progression. All right, open chords. Not too bad, but a really interesting, cool progression that you may have never seen before. Steely Dan, great band, great arrangement musically. Now, that could be it. You can kind of just use a capo if you want to play it in that key, pop it on the first fret. If you want to keep going higher, just keep going down and play those same chords. But we want to talk about not using a capo because there are some advantages that come with it. First of all, why would you want to use a capo in general? Depending on who's singing, if you're trying to sing it yourself, this might not be the best key for you to sing in. For example, if I was trying to sing this song in the key of C, it'd sound like, I'm a fool to do your dirty work, oh yeah. And I don't want to do your dirty work no more. So it's like something that I could do, but generally I don't feel my voice is as compelling in that range. I might be comfortable in a different range, okay? Like if that's at like the top of my range, if I feel like maybe that's a little too nasally, that's not like my wheelhouse as a vocalist, if you have ambitions to sing, or if you're working with a singer, something they should know is where their wheelhouse is, and maybe like a good key for them to kind of play different songs in. So me personally, I know that I feel comfortable singing in the key of E major, all right? So C to E is going to be 4 semitones or 2 steps, right? So the 3rd fret on the A string is a C. If I go 4 frets higher, the 7th fret on the A string is an E. So I kind of want to get from C to E. Now I can kind of transpose all these in my head using that same progression, but I want to bring it down into this range. And what we're going to start doing is we're going to start thinking of those numbers that we had, that 6, 2, 5, 1 progression, and we're going to start using them around the notes in this range, okay? So basically if we find the 1 chord is going to be E. I'm thinking of this on the 7th fret of the A string, right? I can play the major scale, and those are going to give me all the chords, all the notes in the key of E that can become those chords. So if I wanted to find the 6 chord, I could maybe go count through it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because remember the first chord in that progression was a 6. We want 6, 2, 5, 1, 4, flat 7, 4, back to 1 to 5, right? I could count all the way to that 6, be like, what note is this? It's the C sharp, okay? So I know that 6 chord is minor. I know that that first chord in the key that I'm trying to get into is going to be a C sharp minor, okay? Now again, if I just put the capo 4 frets higher, I could just play A minor just like I did in open position. But I kind of want to maybe use this to my advantage to start using some different chord voicings that I like to use, that I kind of feel is part of my playing style. So I also know that the 9th fret on the low E string is the C sharp note. Now maybe I want to start, instead of playing just C sharp minor, use an extending chord. I could play a C, any kind of minor chord voicing would probably sound pretty good on that. So I'll just start with this minor 7 chord voicing where I have the 9th fret here. I'm skipping the A string and getting the 9th fret on the D, G, and B strings. Okay? Now, the next thing I need to do, I gotta find that 2 chord. So there's my major scale, I'm starting with E. The 2 in E is F sharp, so F sharp minor. Now this is kind of interesting. I see that a 6 to a 2 is actually in relation to that 6. I just gotta go down a string. So maybe that's like a connection that I hadn't made till now, seeing it in a different perspective, that an A minor to a D minor as far as an A is concerned, is a 4th. I'm going a 4th higher. I'm starting here, I can just go down a string. So if I have a minor chord voicing here, I can do the same thing here. But maybe I don't want to use a minor 7 chord voicing. Maybe I'll use like a cool minor 9 chord voicing. So this guy's really cool. It's 9A, 7D, 9G, 9B. So I can take that 6 to a 2, and I'm just kind of experimenting with different chord voicings that I know are rooted on the A string. I can do a minor 7, I can maybe even get creative, do something kind of major, like a 9 or something, whatever you want to do. You can just kind of experiment because you know where that root note is, you know the root note you have to find, and then you can kind of put it somewhere else, okay? So I've got this minor 7, the 2 as a minor 9. Now I've got to go to the 5, okay? So the 5th of E, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, is a B. Now I can get this right here, the 9th fret. I could make a chord rooted on the 9th fret here, like this one, or I could octave down and find it here. Maybe play it like this. I could play it as a dominant 7 chord. I can just cycle through these different bar chord voicings that I know. But also I get the perspective of, here's the 1, that E, a string right below it is its 5th. All right? And I know that I'm going right to a 1 after that. So there's my root note, and this is I'll make a major 7, because that's what I always do. I always make a major 7 from a 1 chord. So now, instead of having an open A minor, D, G, C, I'm playing it in the key of E, but I'm getting a minor 7, minor 9, dominant 7, major 7. I keep going on. Okay, so what I did there, I just went to, I know the next chord is the 4. Same thing. The distance between a 4 and a 5 is going to be 2 frets, 1 step. So I was at this major chord, that dominant 7, the 5 chord. I don't even have to think of counting through the major scale to get to the 4. I can always just go 2 frets below a 5. And that brings me to this A major chord, major 7. I like major 7s, so I'll do that E rooted voicing and put it on there. That's why it's really important to know a bunch of different chord voicings rooted on each string, because you can get creative when you start just taking a root note and applying a chord voicing. So maybe I'll do that. Then I'll go to that flat 7, which again, just like I had from F to B flat in the original key open chord that we did, it's just down a string. Same thing applies here. I just go down a string, and I'm gonna make that a major 7 too. Now the flat 7 of E is a D, all right? So we've got a 6 to a 2, to a 5, to a 1, to a 4 major 7, to a flat 7, back to 1, and then 5. And then just like before, back in the day when we were reliant upon those open chords, we went to the chorus and we went C to F to A minor, back to that B. Okay, so that was a 1 to a 4 to a 6 to a flat 7 major. All right, we do the same thing here. We're gonna go to the 1 to the 4 to the 6 to that flat 7. But now I want to see my 6 in a different spot. Okay? We said that was C sharp, right? So maybe since I'm coming from the 4, especially this position of an A major 7 chord, I know that this is really close because I know my chord voicings well. I can just swing this pointer finger down, and that gives me a C sharp minor chord just by making that one move. So again, this perspective of not relying on capo to change keys, maybe I noticed that, like, wow, these 2 chords, the 4 chord is a major 7 and the 6 chord in this key, are really, really similar. And maybe that's something that I didn't realize until I just tried experimenting with these. All I gotta do is swing that one thing over. And then just a half step higher than that is that flat 7 major 7 chord, now that I have it. So again, for me, I can kind of like do a more chill version of that song because it sits more comfortably in my range chorus and verse. And times are hard and you're afraid to pay the fee, so you find yourself somebody who can do the job for free when you need a bit of loving, cause your man is out of town. That's the time you get me running, cause you know I'll be around. Yes, I'm a fool to do your dirty work, oh yeah. And I don't wanna do your dirty work no more. Yes, I'm a fool to do your dirty work, oh yeah. So again, you know, that's something that for me is more comfortable to kind of sing in that range. Really, it's whatever you want to do, wherever you think you sound best. There might be different opinions of that, whatever. It's just good to kind of have that skill set of being able to change keys without a capo. Because also, you never know when you're going to forget a capo somewhere, or maybe be in a situation where you don't have one. So generally, I am not opposed to capos. I think they're a great supplement to have and something that makes key changes really, really quick and easy. But don't use it as a crutch, because Just finding different chord voicings around the neck to change keys is something that's really valuable for your musicianship, and it's kind of a good way to experiment with different chord voicings to find stuff that sounds pretty good. So if you have any questions or comments, hit me up in the comment section, Instagram, Twitter, or the website, and I'll talk to you all soon. Thanks a lot.